Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 472 based on novel. So let's start. A strange space. Xiao Yan and Zuna were at the edge of the volcanic world inside the stone hall. Looking at the huge world of volcanic lava, a shock lingered in their hearts. Poison God Palace has a long heritage, but those fighting skills are closely related to poison. Now, seeing the scroll in its crater, that is known as the Great Immortal Technique level, and no one has successfully cultivated the scroll of fighting skills, Xiao Yan can't help but feel a sense of the same origin. Undoubtedly, it was a fluctuation unique to their Xiao clan. Sister Xiaoyixian said, "It's true. This Do skill scroll contains an extremely powerful seal of the Xiao clan. No one can successfully cultivate unless they are strong in their own clan. Thinking about the poison god Xuanhe, I didn't think of this step at first." Zuna smiled sweetly. "Let's go to the crater first. Even if there is a relationship between the Xiao clan's fluctuations, it is probably not an easy thing to obtain the scroll." Xiao Yang nodded and looked at the lava world in the crater in the distance. It seemed that there was some terrifying aura under the lava. At that time, the pace will speed up, and with the protection of holy flames, the hot temperature in these volcanic lava is not worth mentioning for the two of them. After walking for 10 minutes, I easily came to the lava world of the crater. This is an extremely hot flame space. At the bottom of the space is a hot red lava mud flow. In the center, there is an ancient scroll with red flames all over the body, quietly floating in the center of the lava mud flow. All the calm at this time was caused by the hot magma flow below, and the accumulation was thin, and the amazing power continued to overflow. If there is not enough strength to support, I am afraid that this world is a restricted area for human beings. Just when he came to the magma void, that kind of strange fluctuations came oncoming, and instantly caused the power of the clan lines between Xiao Yang's eyebrows to release a touch of gentle power. The power of the clan lines echoes the scrolls floating in the magma below. "Brother Xiao Yang," Zuna murmured softly, and her beautiful eyes suddenly looked down. It seemed that there were some terrifying creatures in this magma world surrounded by fiery red flames. Holy flame. Clan tattoos. Xiao Yang obviously also sensed the mysterious creatures in the world below, so the holy flame in his body and the rune between his eyebrows were displayed. With the power of Xiao Yang exerted, under the magma mud flow that just had a little movement below, it returned to calm. The mysterious creature hiding in the void below seemed to be stunned by Xiao Yang's power. "Let me see what the fighting skill scroll left in the hands of our seniors from the Xiao clan is." Xiao Yang nodded heavily, the glass-colored holy flames overflowing all over his body, and the protection of his body was tightly stitched together, and the clan lines between the eyebrows were slowly touched, sending out a very cordial wave. Xiao Yang was covered in flames, and walked towards the magma world below. Step by step, the fiery fluctuations in his mind could no longer be concealed. The tyrannical combat power is due to the combination of exercises, fighting skills, and combat experience. Every time he took a step, the terrifying pressure generated in the void along the way actually made Xiao Yang's skin tense, and even his entire body's strength contracted to a strange degree. Walking around continuously, the void around his body became distorted, and bursts of suffocating temperature rushed towards his face. Xiao Yang simply swallowed countless flames back and forth. Otherwise, this flame power alone would be enough to melt Xiao Yang. Bang bang bang! Enduring the fire poison attack that went deep into the bone marrow, Xiao Yang came to the scroll, his hands suddenly stretched out, and he held it tightly. Boom! As Xiao Yang took off the scroll, the original magma world rolled and roared, and the violent flame power became quiet for a while, and the entire flame world was deadly quiet. Boom! Just holding the scroll, an ancient chilling aura fell from the scroll, and the terrifying power was enough to crush any strong person into powder. Just when this mysterious power was about to kill Xiao Yang, the power of the same origin of the Xiao family poured out, and it was wiped out in no time. "Brother Xiao Yang, what the is this?" At this moment, Zuna also ran forward with great interest. Xiao Yang closed his eyes, did not use any soul power, but slowly injected the power of the clan lines between his eyebrows into the scroll. At that time, an old aura that had been covered in dust for countless years was slowly released from the scroll, and the scroll that was originally closed was also spread out in front of Xiao Yang and the two of them little by little. Xiao Clan's secret skills. 4 resplendent word marks gushed out from the scroll, and the invisible force stinged Xiao Yang's body to tremble slightly, but more than that, it was a touch of madness and excitement. Great immortal art. The gate of purgatory. Boom. The long-standing female roar sounded, and suddenly a black ancient stone gate quietly fell off the scroll. Just after falling, the entire flame world trembled abruptly, and then a black stone gate covered with countless eerie runes suppressed the entire world in which the two live. Above the stone gate, a piece of black ghost flame burst out, and the power contained in it is even more frightening. Field. Zana felt the black ghost flames overflowing from the black stone gate. Her delicate body trembled slightly. It seemed that this kind of power was not too stubborn compared to the holy flame. It's not a domain, but this fighting skill is probably related to the world. It seems that this so-called goddess of war from the Xiao clan may have something to do with the world. At this moment, the glazed light of Xiao Yang appeared all over his body, standing like a ***** of war from ancient times to the present. Boom! The gate of purgatory swelled up, and after the breath, an indescribable terrifying pressure dripped down from the gate of purgatory. What an interesting descendant. Originally, I just wanted to leave this power to warn the world, but I didn't expect it to be such a coincidence. Since this is the case, I will send you a fortune. The gate of purgatory, the law of the realm. The sweet voice sounded slowly, and suddenly a black energy burst out from the scroll and injected into the door of purgatory. At this moment, the void in the entire world of flames trembled, and countless black ghost flames fell off the gates of purgatory. Wherever they passed, the void was broken and shattered. That kind of power, even if the power of Xiao Yang and the two of them were gathered today, would probably be the same. A deadly situation. Descendants of the Xiao clan, follow my guidance and build the domain of reincarnation. A faint voice sounded, and countless black ghost flames that fell from the gate of purgatory were gloomy and evil, but they formed a black shadow at the top of this flame world. Xiao Yang and Zana couldn't help sighing and shocked by that black shadow, but the fluctuation of the clan lines between the eyebrows and the voice of the former made it extremely easy to guess their identity. Xiao clan, goddess of war, Xiao Lingshan. In the entire space, a black stone gate was slowly constructed, and this seemingly vast purgatory gate actually started to squirm violently after the sound fell. During the squirming, countless black ghost flames fell off from it, followed by pieces of black debris floating, vaguely as if constructing something special. A descendant of the Xiao family, Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang stood upright, and immediately said respectfully to the disappearing shadow, "The seniors of the Xiao family, no matter who they are enough to be treated with respect." The Gate of Purgatory. This is a volume of fire attribute fighting skills known for its attack power and repressive force. But I see that you have a lot of holy flames on your body, so let's build a reincarnation domain now. Reincarnation domain, the Palace of Taboos, show up. The faint voice resounded in the void. The sound was as beautiful as the spring water, refreshing, and the violent murderous aura in the heart disappeared instantly without a trace. Brother Xiao Yang, look. As Xiao Lingshan's last voice fell, suddenly in the entire flame world, the black ancient mysterious door swelled, and the dark mysterious runes, as if attracted by some kind, swelled up in an instant, filling all the void in the whole world. A profound aura of fear slowly poured out. Boom. At the same time, the clan lines in Xiao Yang's body and Fen Ju moved together, and an uncontrollable tactile sensation emerged spontaneously. It seems that all the power in his body is trying to blast away at the black mysterious door with a strange fluctuation. This is the Gate of Purgatory, and the repressive force and attack power contained in it are extraordinary, but what is the domain of reincarnation? Xiao Yang's brows were furrowed, and for a while he did not release the power of holy flame to merge with the profound Gate of Purgatory. Reincarnation domain, this is a special domain for reincarnators. Let go of it, little guy. There was a crisp sound at do, and an extremely greedy aura erupted above the profound Gate of Purgatory, far away. The next moment, the holy flame domain, holy flame and other powers that had been quiet in Xiao Yang's body, actually poured out of the body, and immediately poured out towards the profound Gate of Purgatory. The domain of reincarnation, the Gate of Purgatory, the Palace of Taboos. My son of the Xiao family, how can there be a weak person? The arrogant and uninhibited crazy laughter sounded, and suddenly in the entire flame world, countless flame forces became quiet. The door of the purgatory mysterious door expanded rapidly, and instantly turned into a Baizhong hall full of glazed rays of light, slowly lining up in front of Xiao Yang and the two. Stepping out one step, stepping into the so-called reincarnation domain, the Hall of Taboos, terrifying power flowed everywhere, and that power seemed to surpass all the powers Xiao Yang had now. Brother Xiao Yang, Samsara domain. This is the domain of reincarnation. Feeling again and again, the terrifying power contained in this glazed hall, and even the air is filled with a suffocating smell, and Zana's eyes are full of excitement. The domain is the signboard of the 7 or 8-star fighting immortals. Although its power has weakened after entering the reincarnation, the role and prestige of the domain cannot be ignored. Especially this kind of reincarnation domain constructed with the power of reincarnation and holy flame, combined with the power of Xiao Lingshan's 3 powers, its power is appalling. Brother Xiao Yang, let me try. After a while, looking at the hall in this quiet state, Zana smiled playfully. She only knew about the illustrious name of Samsara domain from the seal of Samsara. Well, be careful. Xiao Yang nodded, but he could clearly detect that this glazed temple of taboos was filled with an ancient power, and this power was completely worthy of his control. Once the enemy was pulled into the temple of taboo, under the suppression of various forces, it finally ended with the gate of purgatory. Even some real powerhouses, today's Xiao Yang is not afraid. Little immortal technique, middle immortal technique, great immortal technique. Have you reached the level like this? I always feel that there is something missing in this. When Xiao Yang lowered his head and muttered, Zana stepped forward and stepped directly onto the glazed ground of the Temple of Taboo. Just stepping into the Hall of Taboos, an unprecedented awe was born from the heart, and even when looking at the doors around the hall, which were covered with glazed lines and black lines, a palpitating fear quietly poured from the bottom of Zana's heart. Out! Brother Xiao Yang, I'm going to attack. Zana smiled sweetly, and then the reincarnation seal began to flash with dazzling light, slender jade hands waved, 10 golden crows, like 10 loyal servants, crawling behind the 10 crows, shining sun. Zana snorted coldly, and the majestic golden rays of light poured out, instantly filling the entire 100-jong-sized forbidden palace. The endless sacred aura lingered for a long time, and it blasted towards Xiao Yang, who was standing in the center of the hall. Xiao Yang opened his mouth with some doubts. His voice was understatement, and there was no oppression. Zana's reincarnation seal and the attack of the holy flame's power. If Xiao Yang's previous strength was used, he would definitely go all out to resist, but now there seems to be some kind of peaceful change. Boom. The 10 golden crows that Zana seemed to be capable of destroying everything were actually severely suppressed when they jumped up. Immediately when they came into contact with Xiao Yang, the black ancient power and the glazed light flickered. Without any hesitation, its attack was instantly annihilated in the air, without even causing any energy ripples. Crack. Zana looked at Xiao Yang in surprise, trying to detect the mystery, but the ground under her feet collapsed slightly, and a heavy breath directly suppressed the delicate body. My power. In the next moment, Zana's red lips hung with a shock, as if the power in her body had been suppressed more than 10 times. Today's self is like being drained of all the power by the Temple of Taboo and banished to a lifeless space outside the realm. Despair, panic, fear, screaming, all kinds of emotions poured out from Zana's eyes, and even a real scene slowly emerged in front of Zana. Mysterious power poured out from the portals around the Temple of Taboo, suppressing his own strength, eroding his soul, and compressing his own skin. A quirky suppression. This person from the Xiao family is actually the messenger of in the world. It seems that the so-called king, I am afraid that it has nothing to do with this Xiao family. After all, this taboo temple is one of the signs in the world. Boom. At this moment, Zana's divine artifact bracelet buzzed and the divine artifact power emerged. With the control of Xiao Yang's power, the entire temple of taboo and the gate of purgatory just disappeared. In this reincarnation domain alone, the power of the temple of taboo is so tyrannical. If the gate of purgatory and some other means are added, Xiao Yang's combat power will probably increase exponentially. The combined power of the Gate of Purgatory and the Temple of Taboo is a little too appalling, and it is vaguely difficult to control. If it is out of control, I am afraid it will also be a big hidden danger. After some testing, Xiao Yang also analyzed its advantages and disadvantages. With his current first-level reincarnation level strength, he was still unable to completely volatilize the full power of the reincarnation domain. Brother Xiao Yang used to be able to fight beyond the ranks, to a large extent because the opponent was an evil race from outside the territory, and with the help of holy flame pressure, it was naturally not a problem to fight beyond the ranks. The human powerhouses in the great thousand worlds that we encounter today are all leaders in their respective domains, so both their strength and their own background are extraordinary, and it becomes very difficult to fight beyond the ranks. However, Zana believes that the current brother Xiao Yang, with the increase of this reincarnation domain, I am afraid that it will be extremely difficult to find an opponent in the second reincarnation rank. Zana smiled slightly and couldn't help but be happy for Xiao Yang. Well, let's go. Xiao Yang naturally knew what Zana meant, and immediately reached out and gently rubbed the latter's hair, and immediately restored the world to quiet, and left here together with Zana. Time flies. Xiao Yang and the two entered the stone hall for only 20 days. During this period, the entire Poison God Palace seemed extremely unbalanced. Gong Liu men began to get busy. If there is an existence that possesses the Poison God's token, the 10,000 poison pill, and the inheritance of the Poison God's reincarnation seal, if there is no accident, it is probably the next generation of the Poison God, which is also the root cause of the dispute. It's just that during these 20 days, whether it is Lungyue Palace or Yaoyu Palace, the head of the three palaces, they have always maintained a very quiet behavior, and even the Supreme Elder Palace, which is even above the three palaces, has not been touched by anyone. Traces, strange. According to some conscientious people's speculation, they seem to have been asleep and have not woken up yet, or they have been blocked by the conscientious people from the news of Shixian. The root cause is unknown. Two distinguished guests. The palace master has an invitation. Xiao Yang and the two had just left the stone hall and came outside the stone hall. A soldier in armor with a serious face had been waiting for a long time. Seeing the two, he hurriedly clasped his fists and said, "Did something happen?" Zuna noticed a very strange atmosphere in the eyes of the guard soldier. Nothing happened. It's just that the palace master and several adults were worried about this too quiet situation, so they specially invited two distinguished guests to come. The guards shook their heads and said that their Jingyu Palace did not fight like the other two palaces, but was extremely united, but it was this situation that made their subordinates even more afraid. In the three palaces, once anything happens, the powerhouses who live under the palace may not escape bad luck. Then please lead the way. Xiao Yang smiled slightly. Just after speaking, the three of them turned into meteors and swept away at the central mansion of Jingyu Palace. Obviously, the next thing to deal with was the most difficult second palace powerhouse in the entire Poison God Palace. Palace Master, someone has arrived. Not long after, the three arrived at their destination smoothly. This is a valley with beautiful scenery. There is a huge square in the center of the valley. The square is all paved with bluestones. There are faint clusters of poisonous mist lingering under it, and it seems that some poisonous insects are hibernating below. RAO is so. This wide square is still a rare and important place in the Jingyu Palace. Every major event in the palace will start here. Xiao Yang, Zuna. Palace Master Jingyu looked worried at this time, and there was no such thing as a powerful demeanor. At this time, on the square, there was only the palace lord and a gloomy old man surrounded by poisonous snakes, who seemed to have a tingling sensation on the scalp. This is the deputy palace lord of our Jingyu Palace, the old man of the poisonous snake. Palace Master Jingyu looked at Xiao Yang and the two at random, and said, frowning all the time, as if there was something embarrassing. Are these two the VIPs who saved the Saintus? Seeing them today, they really deserve to be heroes. The poisonous snake old man on the side spoke, although his voice gave people a gloomy chill, but his words were very kind. The viper is being polite. Xiao Yang cupped his hands and smiled. By the way, the scrolling fighting skills in the stone hall. It seems that he remembered something, Xiao Yang said slightly. This kind of thing obviously still needs to be explained to them, otherwise it will just be a waste of the opportunity that the little medical fairy fought for. The scroll in the stone hall is extremely mysterious, and no one has been able to touch it for a long time. It is reasonable to fail. The poisonous snake old man reached out and touched the poisonous snake on his body with a smile on his face. Senior misunderstood. That rolling fighting skill has been subdued by me. Xiao Yang spoke lightly, but his voice was full of pride. Golum. Listening to Xiao Yang's words, the old poisonous snake's eyes narrowed slightly. That stone hall, even the palace master and others have personally entered, but the breath contained in it, even if they join forces, it will not help. Listening to Xiao Yang's voice now, suddenly there is a feeling of being picked up for nothing. All right. This is not the time to talk about these things. Palace Master Jingyu obviously sensed a vague aura from Xiao Yang's body, and immediately spoke out. I'm calling you here, mainly to discuss something. The strength of the Holy Maiden is not enough to convince the public. If I can bless any of her powers in my body, I will be able to respond to every call and become a new generation of Poison God after countless years in the Poison God Palace. So, do you understand? Jingyu Palace Lord's expression was solemn, and the implication was very obvious. Someone wants to kill the little doctor fairy? Xiao Yang and Zuna looked at each other, still a little worried about this kind of thing they knew for a long time. With a sound, a scroll wrapped in white light emerged from Princess Jingyue's white wrist. What is this? Xiao Yang frowned and smelled an extremely majestic poisonous fighting chi from it. This is a top-level immortal art, the Wampa Flower Nest. Top immortal arts. It is a fighting technique that surpasses the Great Immortal technique, and its power is enough to shake the world. The election of the poison god is turbulent, so we must be fully prepared. There seems to be a problem with the Supreme Elder Palace. With the strength of our Jingyu Palace alone, we cannot protect the Holy Maiden. If they join forces with the other two palaces. The two talked directly and without any cover. Need me to take this volume of top-level immortal arts to the Supreme Elder Palace? After Xiao Yang finished speaking, he came to his senses. A deputy palace master and deputy of Lungyue Palace had reached the quasi-4th level. Naturally, that level was not something he could handle. Added that this guy took out such a precious something, can't help but guess right. That is also the last resort. Once the powerhouse of the Supreme Elder Palace is awakened, the situation will be completely disintegrated. But, is the Supreme Elder Palace worth responding, if so? Xiao Yang's face turned ashen. There are only a few strong people in the Supreme Elder Palace, and they are all recognized by the Poison God, and they are the beliefs of our Poison God Palace today. They support the new Poison God more than I am afraid. Strong. So you can rest assured. By the way, what about her? In the poison pool on the side, just go if you want. 10 days later, the election of the Poison God will be fully opened. The faint voice, the next Poison God Palace, I am afraid that it will not be peaceful. After saying goodbye to the Palace Master Jingyu and the old poisonous snake, the two followed a path above the square and walked towards the poisonous pool in the back mountain. Brother Xiao Yang, the power of this top-level immortal art. Along the way, Zuna said a little worriedly. The power of this fighting skill scroll is endless, and once it is released, most of the Poison God Palace will be completely wiped out. This scroll is just an introduction. Once it is crushed, the fluctuations of fighting skills recorded in it will come completely. I want to come to Jingyu Palace Master to make it, but also painstakingly. Xiao Yang carefully put it away, and it is not difficult to feel it from his senses. This kind of fighting skill scroll can only rely on itself, with the power of one person or the power of everyone, to display a certain tyrannical fighting skill power. As a result, the special power is used to suppress the seal on the scroll. Although it is different from the real fighting skills, its power cannot be underestimated. Many tedious means have just been able to form this extremely precious fighting skill scroll. Let's go and see the little doctor first. After finishing speaking, the two walked towards the poison pond. In less than an hour, Xiao Yang saw a spooky mountain range of poisonous mist. In the poisonous mist mountains, many poisonous mists and poisonous insects containing deadly venom appear and disappear from time to time, which is quite a tragic scene of on Earth. Strange, the breath here. Xiao Yang frowned before stepping into the poisonous mist mountains to look for the little medical immortal, and then the core inscription of the divine movement in the Nigong pill within his body floated out uncontrollably, and smudges of scarlet rays of light refracted out. The edge of the poisonous mist mountains was illuminated by its rays, and there were actually countless dense black silk threads emerging. Above these black silk threads, there is an extremely majestic death energy, and its density has reached the point where the scalp is tingling. Poison mist formation? Poison pond. These guys are very timid. At this moment, in the corner of Xiao Yang's mouth, a long-lost cold-killing intent slowly emerged. If you move the little medical fairy, then pay for it with your life, even if you are the master of a certain palace. Violent murderous aura gushed out, and suddenly a scarlet blood glow, under the protection of the core inscription, was like entering a no-man's land, easily disintegrating the death thread of the poisonous fog formation, and walked towards the inner poison pool. In the poisonous mist mountains, there are many places of confinement. After all, this is one of the places where the palace master and others practice daily, so it will take a lot of time to walk from the poisonous mist mountains to the poison pond. What? In the poison pool, the whole body is surrounded by green poisonous mist, and the pools of water and milk of different colors are constantly stirring in the pool. For practitioners like them who practice poison art, the power of venom is more attractive than any power. Phut! On the originally quiet surface of the venom pool, a slight sound of breaking water sounded, and suddenly a figure slowly poked its head out from under the water. At this time, in the monstrous and eerie venom pond, a figure with an enchanting figure slowly floated his forehead out of the water, tossed his slender hair at will, and stood up slightly, standing faintly on the surface of the pond. The slender hair is attached to the slightly enchanting fragrant shoulders, which looks extremely enchanting and charming. The venom containing the horrifying fluctuations on the body slowly flows from the snow-white skin, dripping down, and setting off a wave on the pool surface. Violent energy ripples. I don't know if Xiao Yan can get that scroll. It shouldn't be difficult to have the identity of a descendant of the Xiao family. After leaving the pool, Xiao Yan waved his delicate body at will, and immediately let the venom be better inhaled into the body, but he opened his mouth involuntarily, and the worries and thoughts in his mind were endless. The next moment, in the poison pond, the originally calm pool surface suddenly surged, and bursts of violent energy fluctuations swept out, as if some other breath had entered here. Who? Get out! With a cold snort, the little doctor's delicate body emerged from the poison pool and squatted on the void, with his eyes focused, accompanied by two extremely vicious emerald green energy training, viciously attacked the void somewhere in the poison pool. In an instant, the void collapsed in an instant and was torn apart by this terrifying attack, but among them, a black shadow slowly walked out of it. The poisonous girl of the Lengyu Palace, Lengyu Ning, came here, to use the reincarnation seal. I hope your honor will be fulfilled. As soon as the shadow appeared, a violent murderous aura in the body was like a substantial cold liquid, completely filling the place, icy and full of evil charms. Who? One of the two poisonous girls in the Lengyu Palace, the second level of reincarnation? Xiao Yixian heard the words, her eyes slightly wrinkled. This Leng Yuaning, whether in terms of strength or in the practice of poison art, is by no means comparable to Leng Qingchen, who had gone through the mountains before. An invisible pressure suppressed Xiao Yixian. On the delicate body. I don't know why, under the crown of the poison god, why did you choose a person who has no power to bind chickens as the inheritance of reincarnation? This is simply tarnishing our poison god palace. After you die, I will refine you into my poison slave, and I will control you from generation to generation, so that I can witness my rise to the throne of poison in the future. Sky Spider Sacred Poison Web. As soon as the voice fell, Lengyu Ningyu waved her hand, and a black spider web roared towards the little doctor Fairy Tian Lingari. Although there is no powerful force of destruction on it, but the fluctuation of poisonous fighting spirit contained in the spider web makes Xiao Yixian's eyelids shrink violently. The black cobwebs whizzed past, stinging the mind of the little medical fairy deeply, and even the poisonous water in the pool began to churn. Although the little Doctor Immortal possesses the reincarnation seal of the poison god and the holy pill of 10,000 poisons, his strength is a little behind. After all, the little Doctor Immortal is just like an empty jar, with the strength of reincarnation and many treasures, but his own strength is too much weak. Fighting with people, I am afraid that you will be defeated in a few rounds. If the little medical immortal is a reincarnation like Leng Yuaning, who has steadily advanced through cultivation, with its current stable samsara strength and the poison god token, even those 4-level reincarnation rank powerhouses can't shake the little medical immortal. But unfortunately this is not the case. In one blow, a mouthful of dark green poisonous blood spurted out from the delicate body of the little Doctor Fairy, and his face was pale. The strength of this Leng Yuaning and the practice of poison art are so strong, so weak. Die. Leng Yuaning laughed loudly, and raised her palm slowly. A black spider about the size of a palm appeared like a living thing. Burst. At such a critical moment, a fiery fist full of violent violence actually smashed a void somewhere, and strands of silk filled with glass-colored flames shot back, followed by 2 more. A menacing figure. Feeling this scorching fire, Leng Yuaning couldn't help but let out a very strange smile. The next moment, on Leng Yuaning's cheeks, there was no trace of fear, only a maddening smile. The smile is nearly twisted, and it looks extraordinarily evil and charming, like a real lunatic. Xiao Yang. Looking at one of the 2 figures approaching, Leng Yuaning's eyes flickered with a gleam of light, and then she stuck out her tongue and sucked slightly, her eyes filled with extremely greedy fluctuations. Since Leng Qingchen returned, they had already noticed everything that happened in Jingyu Palace. Although it was calm on the surface, from that time onwards, the little medical fairy's every move was under their surveillance. The Lord's constant guardianship, even they are indifferent. Even Palace Master Jingyu secretly set up a lot of defenses, so it has been calm for 20 days, but now the 2 are separated. In this slightly negligent poison pool, Lengyu Palace powerhouse secretly kills. As long as Leng Yuaning can solve the little medical fairy, all the problems that follow will be solved. The other poisonous girl in Leng Yugong, Leng Yuaning, has a double reincarnation level strength. But what she is most terrifying is not her apparent strength, but her poisonous art. The poisonous art she cultivates is called the Sky Spider Demon Art, which is extremely special and strange. Even in the entire Lengyu Palace, it is only second only to the existence of the main and deputy palace masters. Little Doctor Immortal forcibly supported her body and explained to Xiao Yang. Hurry up and absorb the power in the poison pool, and leave it to me here. Zuna, you protect her. Xiao Yang nodded, and immediately said to Zuna, He naturally knew that the poisonous water in the poisonous pool here has a very important relationship with the little medical fairy to speed up the fusion and comprehend the poisonous pills in the body. Zana nodded, and immediately a golden flame covered the little medical fairy. Her delicate body was submerged in the poison pool, and bursts of humming bubbles surged, appearing extremely gloomy, but the breath gradually became deeper. The dim poison pond is surrounded by some rocks full of venomous venom, which decorates the entire poison pond space extremely dimly. Xiao Yan waved his hand, and in the dim world, a group of glazed flames that were so weak that they were about to go out dripped from his body. In the entire space, countless black threads suddenly appeared, and a sense of suffocation hit his face. Nice formation, but break it for me. Xiao Yang snorted coldly. The glazed flames around his body suddenly began to burn vigorously, instantly turning from a weak flame to a huge blazing sun, burning terribly in this dark space. I hope you can be so calm for a while. Looking at Xiao Yang's actions, a sneer appeared on the corner of Lung Yuaning's mouth, and then his palm slowly raised, but this guy's palm was covered with a very thick black liquid instead. Sky Spider Sacred Poison Array. Boom. The sneering voice poured out, and in the entire sinister poison pool, black silk threads hidden in the dark actually emerged like spiderwebs, completely blocking all the retreats of everyone. This formation has no formation pattern, it is supported by poisonous fighting chi. But fighting with me, I'm afraid it's beyond your capacity. Xiao Yang slowly stretched out his palm, and then used his palm to directly touch the glazed scorching sun. You're looking for your own death. Lung Yuaning didn't know what this guy was doing, but the coercion that filled the flames made her chest feel breathless. Boom. Suddenly, the glazed scorching sun was gently held in Xiao Yang's hand. At that time, it directly turned into a fiery wave of flames, suddenly centered on Xiao Yang's palm, spreading in all directions in the dark space in the poison pond. Go. A circle of extremely shocking violent energy overflows and spreads, filling the entire void, and the void is all filled with an extremely violent and sacred flame. The glazed flames are extremely sacred and violent. Just now, a powerful force filled Lung Yuaning's eyes, and even the formation that had already imprisoned this poison pool space, unexpectedly emerged at this time without reservation. Cracks appeared on the spider silk threads that had been injected with their own virulence, as if they would be completely cracked at any time. Sure enough, I have some strength, as expected of a guy who can defeat Lung Qingchen. But that guy and I are different. Lung Yuaning roared, and circles of black poisonous mist gathered behind him, forming a huge black shadow. The black shadow was dressed in a black robe. The black robe did not have any outline, but it carried extremely terrifying power like a ****** of death. Even under the black robe, one after another of pitch-black ice-cold chains rubbed constantly, making bursts of harsh sounds. Crackling. Beneath the black robe, wreckage and bones were constantly thrown out by him, like a rotten thing that had lost all its vitality and was chewed by him, and it was gloomy. The black robe phantom behind Lung Yuaning was filled with countless ancient and evil words, and the sinister and cunning power contained in it vaguely released a prestige that could be learned from the whirl. My poison art, once guided by the poison god, accept the punishment. Sky Spider Phantom, Sickle. Lung Yuaning showed a crazy smile, with a black shadow robe on her back, a jet-black chain slowly emerged from the body, wrapped around the black robe, and suddenly a very terrifying wave gushed out, many of which were poisonous gods. A trace of the source power of Xuanhe. The evil spirit's aura was exceptionally cold and strange, and it gave Xiao Yang a feeling of hair standing upside down. Although the power of the glazed flames is sacred and violent, it was slowly melted under its prestige. Die. The black shadow of the black robe falls off from Lung Yuaning's body, like an illusory shadow, moving in the void. The evil light on the body is flourishing, a sickle light that traverses the whole world, carrying a suffocating venom explosion. It poured out and slashed aimlessly at Xiao Yang's side. The gates of purgatory. Xiao Yang closed his eyes, and when the black-robed figure surged and the deadly poisonous sickle was about to pierce his body, a deafening voice sounded slowly. Behind Xiao Yang an ancient black portal appeared out of thin air. The portal was composed of countless flame powers, and there were even countless dense black lines on it, which perfectly outlined it. Boom. The gate of purgatory has just emerged, and it instantly transformed into countless portals of purgatory flames. Immediately, it shattered the remaining heavenly spider holy poison array in the entire void. Stand up. Phut. With a sound, the venom sickle was gently disintegrated by it, and even the mysterious black shadow disappeared completely under its attack. In the imprisoned palace surrounded by the gate of purgatory, Lung Yuaning only felt as if she had been dragged into another world, powerless, fearful, and dazed. Several auras filled her facial features. Even the sky spider phantom that he was proud of, all the violent force disappeared inexplicably. At this moment, Leng Yuaning suddenly felt that the threatening power of the human beings in the human world in front of her was no less than that of the vicious girl in the Yaoyu Palace who was reputed to be rare in the Age. This video will end here.